Hey guys, it's Fire Zombie here. Today I'm going to be giving you an overview of my paintball gear and some paintball tips for beginners. Alright, the first thing you need for paintball and the first thing on my gear list is a gun. But here I'm using the Tipman Cronus. I got it off of Amazon. It's not that expensive. It's my second gun. It does pretty well. I've used it before. It's really good, especially when you have other things that are really good, like a good tank, good hopper, and it's just an overall good gun, and that's why I recommend it for intermediate players. But for beginner players, I recommend the Spider. It's a pretty good gun. It has these dual things so you can shoot faster. It's pretty light. It's actually really light. That's why I mainly like it. This one though, it's just not that accurate, which is why I personally don't really like it. But overall, it's a good gun for beginners. It's pretty cheap, and yep. Alright, so next up is the loader. This here is the Proto Primo loader. This is the new one I got. It's got a different feed system than most hoppers. It actually has this little plate in the middle, so if instead of like some paint getting stuck like on the sides here, instead it has this thing will like tip them into the funnel here, so that you actually don't have to like shake your gun and stuff to get the paint down into the funnel. But this is like a gun for like intermediate paintballers. Hopper. The hopper I do recommend for beginners is actually this one. This is just a standard hopper. There's nothing real special about it. It isn't that big, but it's really cheap. It probably comes with most paintball gun packages. There's nothing really special about it. It isn't that good. It's just kind of cheap. And it gets the job done. So this is what I'd recommend for beginners. Alright, next up is the air tank. So most paintball places, they could refill your tank if you have one. But usually if you get like a CO2 tank, which comes with most guns, they can't refill those. They could only refill compressed air. So this is my Gorilla Air Pro compressed air tank. It comes with a little dart here to see how much air it is. This one I got a little case for it, so it doesn't.
Hey, stop! That hurts.
So you can't like.
Ow! Don't do that again.
The actual metal. It has 3,000 psi in here. And it's really good. It does make your gun a lot heavier, but there's a lot of air, so you won't need to refill it as much. The tank I would recommend for beginners, I don't actually have it anymore, but it's just a regular like 32 ounce tank of CO2 normally. You can't refill it, but it's cheap. Usually comes with your gun. And it's also really lightweight, so you could like move around and stuff easier. Next on the list is the mask. So my mask I'd also recommend for beginners because it's cheap and it's just a really good overall mask. It comes with a visor, which especially in Florida, it gets really sunny and it helps keep the sun out of your eyes. The plastic for the goggles is like kind of defog. It doesn't fog often. And also these vents here, they really help when it comes to breathing and talking. You could talk louder and stuff. But one thing it doesn't have is protection for the top of your head. And I've gotten shot in the top of the head and it really hurts. That's why I also wear this. This is the Atlas Paintball Fit Flex padded bounce hat. Since I have the visor, I wear it like this. It's also more comfortable like this. And when you get shot in the head, it doesn't necessarily bounce off like the name says. It just hurts less. It's probably like increased chance of bouncing off. It doesn't bounce off all the time, but it just hurts way less, especially from close range. That really hurts. So I use this below my mask. Next on the list I have gloves. These here are the gloves I use. They're the Exalt half-fingered hard-shell paintball gloves. They're really useful, especially in paintball, but I use them for other things too. But in paintball, they help when sometimes when you're like playing for a long time, you get blisters here on your thumb, and these help prevent that. They don't completely prevent it, but it helps a lot. And also, as you see here, I get shot on my hand a lot. How could this happen to me? And that hurts sometimes. And if it doesn't splatter and it bounces off, sometimes that could like prevent like you from shooting for a couple seconds because it stings. So these gloves, since they're hard-shelled, they're better at keeping your hands safe, and they're just overall good gloves. But for beginners, you don't really need gloves, especially if it's your first time playing paintball, because you may not be playing it for like hours on end. You may not just need to buy gloves for paintball since it may be your only time playing. But if you do play it out, I really recommend gloves. Next on the list, we have the Exalt Paintball Barrel Swab. This is really handy, especially when in rough terrain. Because if you do fall and you jam your barrel onto the ground, or paint gets stuck in your barrel, so what you do is you put this in and probably get all the stuff out. And then you put this side in, and this has like a little knob on the end here to take out chunks. This one isn't very good for beginners. Like I said with the gloves, it probably isn't gonna happen your first try, and if you don't play a lot, it really isn't worth it, especially if you don't have your own gear. Because if you're renting your gear, then they'll probably just give you another gun. But if you do have your own gear, this is a must-have. I carry it on me when I play, but you don't have to. You could just carry it in your bag, and after the game, you could go fix up your gun. But if you want to keep playing after you get a jam or something, I'd really recommend this. Alright, now I'm going to talk about clothing. So, whenever you play, even if you're a beginner, you want to wear dark or camouflage clothing, depending on where you play. So if it's snowing outside, you want to wear like white and stuff. If you're playing in like a desert area, you want to wear tan. But camo is really important, because if you're just wearing like neon stuff, everyone's gonna see you. But when I play, I also wear this. This is the Modern Warrior Tactical Vest. It has pockets here and here, which I usually use for either pods or grenades. And also they have tiny Velcro things up here, which sometimes I put more like extra paint in. But they're really handy, and here that's where I put my swab. And this is just really good. You don't need it if you're a beginner, but especially because you don't have to carry pods around. I'm not going to talk about pods in this video, because a lot of times I won't use pods, but I do use them sometimes. But this is just a good vest, and it'll also give you some protection if you get hit. So yeah. Alright, the last thing on my list is a bag. This bag is the Vulcan Tactical Soft Gun Bag. I use it to carry all my stuff. I don't store my stuff in here. I store my stuff in a separate place. But if you're a beginner and you don't have any gear, you don't need it. Or if you don't have a lot of gear like I do, you don't need it. But it's just good to carry around. And also in here, I have a couple tools if like my gun breaks or something. And so I always take this with me when I go paintballing, so I can carry my stuff and it's easier to carry around. Thank you guys for watching. That was my paintball gear review video. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out. Bye.